So first of all, what is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two numbers. Alright, now there are some important things to know about ratios. One of those things is that there are three different ways to write a ratio. One is where it looks like a fraction. One is with the word to. And another method is using a colon. All of these are pronounced the same way. 3 to 4, 3 to 4, and 3 to 4. And again, going back to the definition of a ratio, you're comparing two things. So possibly three girls to 4 boys. Or it could be 3 apples to 4 oranges. But you're comparing two things. Another important thing is that ratios can be simplified just like you would simplify a fraction. And another thing is order is important. This is perhaps the most important thing of all, is that the order is super important when writing ratios. Alright, let's look at an example here. So we have this picture of triangles and circles. So the ratio of circles to triangles, okay? Now when I said order is important, since this statement here says circles first and then triangles, the number of circles has to come first. Well, I see 2 circles, so 2. And so it circles 2 triangles. So triangles have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the ratio of circles to triangles is 2 to 6. And just like we stated up here, I can also simplify that, just like a fraction. Well, I know 2 and 6 are both even, so they're divisible by 2. So if I divide 2 by 2, I get 1. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the simplified ratio of circles to triangles is 1 to 3. Which basically means for every 1 circle, you have 3 triangles. And you can actually see that just by looking at each row. I have 1 circle for 3 triangles. And then the second row is also 1 circle and 3 triangles. Alright, now if I reverse the order and ask for the ratio of triangles to circles, well then the number of triangles would come first, so that was 6. And the number of circles would come second, so 6 to 2. And again, we can simplify that, and that would simplify to 3 to 1. Okay, so again, perhaps the most important thing about writing a ratio is to make sure that you have it in the correct order. Now, there will be times when a ratio can compare multiple items, more than 2. And anytime you're dealing with a ratio, always look for the word to, T-O. So, for instance, if we look at this picture here, we have circles, triangles, and squares. So this statement here says the ratio of circles to triangles and squares. Alright? The word to basically is what splits the ratio into the 2 different parts. So circles comes first. So I see 1, 2, 3 circles. And then to triangles and squares, so I'm going to add those together. So triangles, I have 1, I have 2 squares, so that's 3 in all. So that means the ratio of circles to triangles and squares is 3 to 3. Okay? And again, we can simplify that just like we would a fraction. Okay? And that would be 1 to 1. The last thing we'll discuss, and I actually kind of mentioned this briefly, is ratio language. And ratio language is just for every blank, there are blank. So for instance, if you look at this picture here, the ratio of, let's say we're doing hearts to stars. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hearts, and 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. So that would be 8 hearts to 4 stars. And you could simplify 8 to 4 to 2 to 1. So ratio language would be for every 2 hearts, there is 1 star. So here's just another look at the entire set of notes that we just went over. So again, a ratio is a comparison of 2 numbers. Remember again that there are 3 different ways to write a ratio, as a fraction, with the word to, and with a colon. Ratios can be simplified, and the order is important. Okay. Another thing to remember is to look for the word to, and that basically tells you which number comes first, which number comes second. And the last thing is our ratio language. For every blank, there are blank. Alright, that's it for ratios. Have a great day.